I hope you are all set with your pen and paper. Okay, all right. Okay. Can you all see my slide? Please, if you see my slides, signify with emojis. Okay, yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, without wasting much of our time, let's go straight to the business of the day. Is Mr. Chairman here? Let me check him first. Okay. Mr. Chairman, you can mute yourself and hold on, but say something, let me know if you are in, or mute yourself from your end.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Okay, you are audible there, you are audible. So hold on.
Okay.
Good evening. I just want to confirm your availability. All right. Okay, awesome. Okay, good evening, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you once again to another insightful session. Um, I'm your regular host, Jamiu Onosanya, the convener, Public Service Knowledge Hub. Yeah, before we commence the class, it is important to recognize our major partner, making it possible for more officers to join this program. On behalf of the Public Service Knowledge Hub, we extend our sincere appreciation to the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, Lagos chapter, for their collaboration and sponsorship support towards expanding our Zoom capacity and to support all the eligibility year 2026 eligible officers to partake in this impactful Citadel of Learning community. This support has enabled many more eligible officers to participate in this session. We thank the union leadership for this selfless commitment to staff welfare, development, and knowledge empowerment. If you recall before, our normal capacity max is 500, but with the aid of the support of the union, we'll be able to reach 1,000, and they are still planning to do more. We thank the union leadership for this selfless commitment to staff welfare, developing and knowledge empowerment. At this point, it is my honor and privilege to invite the chairman of the association and Lagos chapter to address the participants. So, Mr. Chairman, sir, You have the floor. Welcome, sir. Is Mr. Chairman with us? Okay, let me unmute you. You have muted yourself. Okay. Unmute yourself from your back end.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Good evening,
Welcome, sir.
everyone.
Good
I
evening, sir.
want to use this opportunity to thank and appreciate everyone, especially the convener of this program, that is Knowledge Up, and our participant, that is Mrs. Durodola, for taking time out to be. Hello, can you hear me?
You are
Am I
audible. Go
audible?
ahead,
Yes,
sir.
you are
Okay,
audible.
okay. Okay, so for making time out to be part of this session, we want to appreciate you, ma. And to our fellow
You are most
participants,
welcome.
I want to thank you, and I want you to have this rest of mind that nobody is going to be a failure. All you need to do is just for you to just put in your best. And the essence of this exercise, this new promotion uh, adjustment program that we're just having now, is just to strengthen the system, just to have a better service delivery for the citizen of Lagos State. That is the essence of what the Civil Service Commission and the entire Lagos State government is doing. And that is why we're keen into this, to also boost the morale and then to raise the confidence of our members so that for them to be able to excel. Just go in there and do your best. That is what I think the program held this morning was so fantastic. The one that was done by Mr. Rasul Taiwo, and I think everybody has been able to gain so much. And then the same thing is going to happen to what Mrs. Joe Dollar is going to give to us today too. And then we also planning to also increase the capacity, just as the coordinator have said too. We're planning to do that so that we'll be able to reach more people. And then just have it at the back of your mind that we're supporting you and they were fighting for you. Anybody that has any issue, technical issue, whatever, so quickly raise alert so that we can come in and then address it for you. We are partnering with the Civil Service Commission so that this exercise can be free and fair for all our members. And I want to use this opportunity to pray for you that at the end of the day, success is going to be yours by the special grace of God. Thank you very much.
Amen. Thank you very much. Let me see your emojis so that I can claim that prayer. If you know that I want to be part of the next level, let me see your emojis. Let it be coming. Yeah, thank you very much. Awesome. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for your inspiring word and continuous support. Yeah, distinguished colleague, we are now set for today's lecture. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Nice one. Nice one. Yeah, today's topic is extremely important for every officer currently in service, regardless of cadre, grade level, or years of experience. Retirement planning for public servants. Many officers prepare to work, but very few prepare to retire. Yet, retirement is not an event, it is a process. A process that requires documentation, understanding of pension, regulation, financial planning, emotional readiness, and timely compliance with service policy. Tonight's session will cover retirement processes and planning, exit procedure, documentation required before disengagement, and common mistake that delay benefits. So tonight's lecture is not just for those about to retire, it is for everyone preparing for growth in service. Promotion without planning, it is a risk. Preparation is power and is the key. We are honored to have with us a distinguished professional whose work has transformed the way retirement is understood in Lagos State government. Mrs. Durodola, Mrs. Olushola Bukola Durodola is a seasoned public administrator and accomplished human resource strategist with over 26 years of meritorious service in Lagos State public service. She holds a bachelor and master's degree in economics, and today serves as the Director Post Service Department in Office of the Head of Service, Public Service Office. Under her leadership, the Post Service Department has evolved into a model of innovation and active engagement, proving that retirement is not the end of productivity, but a transition into purposeful living. She initiated the Lagos State Public Service Retirement Handbook, a first of its kind guidebook that simplifies retirement policies, financial steps, and documentation requirements for officers. She also established the Retirees Advisory and Welfare Committee, RALCOM, an initiative designed to empower retirees with skills, financial stability, mentorship, and advisory support. Since 2021, she has hosted bi-monthly webinars, attracting retired head of service, permanent secretaries, and senior officials, keeping thousands of retirees engaged, informed, and productive. Mrs. Durodola is a fellow of the Shatter Institute of Personnel Management and a member of NIM and fellow of the Institute of Strategic Public Negotiations. She is known for her strategic leadership, depth of knowledge, empathy, and passion for building a service that values both officers in active and duty active duty and those what's distracting?
Transition
out. Thank you, ma. Something is distracting me here. Oh, sorry, I couldn't. I'm coming, ma. Try to get my program. Couldn't find what I'm reading again. Okay, let me do it this way. Sorry, I don't know what take it off. Don't know what take it off. What would you do? Sorry, I couldn't see my slides.
Do you want to share my slide? Can I share for my end?
No, this one is I'm coming, ma. You will. Okay. I'm coming. Sorry. Okay, that one is just profile. I just want to finish with that profile before we start sharing yours. I don't know what happened to the profile. Okay. Let me share. Okay, let's proceed to the slide of the day. You can bring up your slide, ma.
All right.
Okay. Can everyone see the slide from your end? Let me see your emojis if you are seeing the slide. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So, ma, you have the floor. Let's let's keep the ball rolling now.
All right, so good evening, distinguished participants. Let me specially acknowledge the convener of this program, Mr. Jamiu Onosanya.
Thank
And I
you.
also want to extend appreciation to Association of Senior Civil Servants Nigeria, Lagos branch, for this opportunity. So tonight we are going to be looking at retirement planning for public servants, especially in Lagos State. I'm starting with these 3 quotes. Begin with the end in mind. That is by Stephen Covey. That is the second principle of highly effective people. You begin with the end in mind. Whether you are just starting your service with the Lagos State government, you are a few months into the service of Lagos State government, or you have spent 10 years, 34 years, almost clocking 35, this topic is very, very relevant to you. Then the second quote is, planning for retirement is a journey, not a destination. So it's something that you keep reviewing over time. And then the best time to plan for retirement is yesterday. And the second best time is today. These 3 quotes implies that it is very important that we start planning for our retirement early. Now, let me start also by saying that a lot of people, when thinking of retirement, the only thing they think about is about finance. And retirement is a lot more than that. We need to plan socially, health-wise, both mentally and physically. The objectives of our webinar this evening, the first one is having basic knowledge of retirement documentation and an overview of the Lagos State Public Service Retirement Handbook. We're also going to be looking at the retirement realities and the challenges that comes with it and how to mitigate them. Then how to be able to define your personal retirement goals. And then at the end of this training, you'll be able to assess your financial readiness. And then you also understand the need to create a sustainable income stream. I have more than that, but I want us to run because we have a lot to do. I'm going to skip the agenda because the objectives also speak to it. What is retirement? Simply put, retirement is when an officer exits from the state public service after serving for not less than 10 years. That is retirement. Retirement can be voluntary, it can be compulsory, or it can be statutory. Compulsory is when an officer has served for not less than 10 years and that officer is advised to retire. That officer is advised to retire. That may be as a result of so many things. Maybe the officer had to go through a disciplinary process, and maybe on compassionate ground, the officer is just offered compulsory retirement as against maybe termination of appointment or dismissal. And sometimes it could be as a result of abolition of that office. So basically, that is what compulsory retirement is. That officer is advised by government to retire from service. Then there's voluntary retirement. This is when an officer decides on their own volition to leave after serving for not less than 10 years. And statutory retirement is what we are all used to. That is when an officer is required by law to exit from the public service after attaining the age of 60 years or 35 years on pensionable appointment. This is with the exception of the judicial officers and academic staff of universities and tertiary institutions. Theirs is 65. Now, retirement documentation. Retirement documentation is very important. An officer retiring is required to give 6 months notice or pay 3 months salary in lieu of notice. And within these 6 months period, the officer should benefit from 1 month pre-retirement workshop and seminar. Although that is being played down a little bit now, I want to believe that maybe very soon it will be reintroduced. The retiring officer is also expected to ensure that his or her records are up to date in order to facilitate the prompt processing of his or her retirement benefits. We have the Lagos State Public Service Retirement Handbook in place. It's a compendium of processes and procedure for retirement and payment of retirement benefits. There's something important that I want us to note. It is very important that we understand that retirement in the public service is governed by strict procedures and guidelines. And failure to adhere to these protocols may result into delay or denial of pension benefits. And in some cases, extreme cases, it may lead to dismissal. What do I mean by that? We understand there is Japa syndrome. Now, a lot of people are leaving the country. And some have actually spent 10 years in service. And they probably just want to go out there to go and see what's going on. Sometimes some of them don't exit properly. They probably will say, I'm going on leave. I want to take a leave of absence. And then when they discover that they're enjoying their new location, they may not put in their necessary papers. We have seen situations where people are presented before the personnel management board for abscondence. And most of the time, it leads to dismissal. So let's bear it in mind that it's important for us to ensure that we put in all necessary documentations before exiting the service. Now, bearing in mind that we are preparing for promotion, really the import of retirement planning is beyond promotion. But bearing in mind that this is promotion period, we may want to briefly look at the content of retirement handbook. I'm going to stop sharing this slide for now and then share the retirement handbook so that we just have a look. For some of us who are not conversant with that book, I want us to confirm if we are seeing the book. Mr.
Yes.
Onosoya, is it showing?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
All right. Okay. Okay. So this is, I want us to start from chapter 2. And it says that there are 3 ways by which an officer on pensionable appointment can exit from the state public service, apart from dismissal, termination of appointment, abolition of office, redundancy, incapacitation, invalidation, and death. And that is resignation, withdrawal of service, and retirement. We've spoken about retirement. Resignation is when an officer decides to exit from the state public service after serving for less than 5 years. When the officer has served for less than 5 years, it's not up to 5 years, that officer will be required to give 1 month notice of his intention or pay 1 month's salary in lieu of notice. Now, withdrawal is when an officer decides to exit from the state public service after serving for more than 5 years, but less than 10 years. The officer shall be required to give 1 month notice of his intention or pay 1 month salary in lieu of notice. We've spoken about retirement, so let me just skip that. Now, a public servant who is on grade level 7 and above, these are the documents they are expected to submit to their relevant commission. If you are employed by a civil service commission, you submit your notice of retirement through your parents' ministry to your commission. If you are employed by civil service commission, it is civil service commission. If a service commission employed you, then your application will be to health service commission. Or if it is TESCOM, or if you are employed by a parastatal, then you will direct your application for exit to your parastatal. Now, these are the documents that you are supposed to submit. Up-to-date certified record of service, copy of letter of first appointment, letter of confirmation of appointment, copies of letters of promotion, copies of letter of advancement or conversion, if relevant. Then clearance of state of indebtedness from relevant MDAs, which includes staff housing board for staff housing loan, and then car refurbishment loan now. Then Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative Trade and Investment for the cooperative, clearance for cooperative, and then Debt Management Office. Then you can also get clearance for director's cadre, for personalized vehicle clearance. And then if there is need for you to pay 1 month or 3 months salary in lieu of notice, then you have to attach your receipt. Now, your application must get to the commission 3 months before applicant's last day in office. This doesn't nullify the rule that requires you to put in your notice 6 months. What it means is that by the time you write your letter of application and it is submitted in your ministry 6 months before, about 3 months is given for obtaining all your clearances from different MDAs. 3 months is sufficient to get all those clearances. By the time you get all the clearances, 3 months before your exit, your notice of exit must get to commission at least 3 months. But of course, your letter must be dated 6 months. I hope you get what I mean. Your notice of retirement must be 6 months. That means the letter written by you must be dated 6 months before your exit date when you are submitting in your ministry. But you are allowed 3 months to get all your documents in all the relevant agencies, and then your application must get to your commission 3 months before your exit. That is the rule. Well, some people die in active service. We don't pray for it, but it does happen. So the family of the deceased will write a letter to the last MDA where the deceased served, notifying the MDA of the demise of such an officer. Such letter must have the following attachment: medical certificate of cause of death by government hospital. It has to be a government hospital. Obituary publication, and all the service documents of the deceased. Thereafter, the MDA will write the relevant commission requesting for death clearance letter for the payment of deceased entitlement. Now, if any member of staff dies in active service, the named beneficiary is entitled to 36 months earning, basic housing and transport allowance, and then burial expenses up to like 25,000 naira only. Of course, that will require a review. To assess this benefit, the family must write a notification letter to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Finance, through the MDA where the staff had worked before demise. So the underlisted documents must be attached to the notification letter: death certificates indicating medical cause of death, signed by a qualified medical doctor, and 3 months pay slip before death, appointments and confirmation letter, last promotion letter, death claim form, and then obituary flyer. There is something important that we all need to fill. That is death benefit nomination form. It makes it easier for beneficiaries to access all necessary benefits from the government. Death benefit nomination form is a document that an active public servant is expected to fill as his or her wish, indicating who should be entitled to his or her death benefit in case of death. It is noteworthy to mention that all public servants in the state are expected to fill the death benefit nomination form while still alive, subject to amendment as desired. Duly signed copies of these forms are to be submitted to Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Establishment and Training, and then Lagos State Pension Commission, LASPEC. That is according to the HOSC circular number 116 of 21st September 2015. Now let's take the processing of retirement of officers below level 6 before we move on to other things. An officer on level 6 or below seeking for approval for relevant retirement should write his or her application to our MDA attaching relevant documents stated in paragraph 2.2. So an officer on level 6 will pass their own documentation through their MDA to LASPEC. The same documents are stated for officers on level 7 and above. There are other processes too in LASPEC, but for the purpose of what we are doing tonight, I'm going to skip that, and then we'll go back to our slide. The next thing we are going to be looking at is some common documentation issues that I have come across. Incomplete documentation. There are people who don't submit all the required documents. And that is the major reason why the Office of the Head of Service through the Post-Service Department had to document all the processes and procedure for retirement in a single book that we have tagged Lagos State Public Service Retirement Handbook. Then another issue is alteration on service documents. When you are submitting your documents, ensure that there are no alterations. For instance, if you got a letter of confirmation of appointment, and you suddenly discover that there is a mistake, maybe your name was not properly spelled, it is not your responsibility to use your own biro to adjust it. What you should do is to write to the relevant office and ensure that a correction is made instead of altering the document yourself. If you alter any of your service documents, it will be rejected by relevant audit office, maybe State Auditor General or local government auditor general or relevant audit office. And then conflicting birthdays. Some of us are fond of changing our records. Some have a different birthday on their record in their MDA, different one in their parent ministry, and a different birthday probably on the Oracle database. When you are exiting the service, it's likely to create a problem for you. Or if you even have a different birthday on your NIN, because now our RSA is tied to our NIN. So if you have conflicting birthdays, you'll be told that you are not the one at the point you want to assess your retirement benefit. Then overstaying in the service. You cannot overstay in the service. If you overstay in the service, you will be asked to pay back all the salary that you have earned after the date your statutory retirement should be. You will be asked to pay back. Statutory retirement is age 35 or 60 years of age. If you spend 61 years in service, of age, you will have to pay back 1 year salary. If you spend 36 years in service or 37, you will have to pay back 2 years salaries. And I can assure you the LASPEC will not process your retirement benefits if you don't pay back. So we are encouraged not to overstay in the service. Some people are doing it and they are required to pay back. Then conflicting name spellings. These are also common errors. And then some officers don't have files in the central record. Please, let's ensure we have our records. And apart from the fact that we have a file there, let's ensure that our files at central records are up to date. And then another common issue is that there is no valid will or estate plan left by the deceased employee. Like I said earlier, nobody pray for death, but some people do die in active service. And if they do not have any valid estate plan, or they do not have any death benefit nomination form in place, it becomes an issue for their beneficiary to assess their benefits. So that is about retirement documentation. Now let's look at realities in retirement. There are financial realities, physical health concerns, and then emotional and mental health concerns. Now, talking of finances, you know, the realities in retirement is that monthly salary stops, perks of office stops. Those of us who have drivers, we have official cars, all those ones will stop. And then there's also the danger that we may not have enough money to maintain the standard of life that we enjoyed in active service. Then there may also be lack of resources to live a comfortable life after retirement. And then we also have the issue of high inflation that is constantly eroding the purchasing power of our fixed income. Then we have little or no knowledge of how we can increase our earning capacity because we are not used to running organizations that are profit making. The next one is the physical health concerns. You know, with age, advancement in age, problems like hypertension, high cholesterol, arthritis, coronary heart diseases, diabetes, kidney issues, heart failures, depression, dementia. These are the common health challenges that comes up. And then when it comes to emotional and mental health, there is a kind of a sense of identity and meaning that our jobs give to us, a sense of purpose that we lose when we retire. For instance, I'm director of post service. When you ask me that, who are you? I'm likely to say, I am Mrs. Drew Dollar, director of post service. It gives me a kind of identity. It gives my life a meaning and purpose. It gives my day a structure. And I have co-workers around me. But I bet you, some of us don't realize that our co-workers are not our friends. They are just co-workers. By the time we leave the service, that is when some of us will realize that we really don't have much friends. So sometimes, instead of feeling free and relaxed after retirement, there's a possibility that we may start feeling bored and aimless. And then with aging, there is declining in mobility There's increased loneliness, growing isolation, because we no longer go to work. Probably when other people are leaving the house, they are going to work. You are just the only one at home. Those are the realities in retirement. Isolation and loneliness can cause a lot of problems. For some of us who have been addicted to one thing or the other, for instance, those who have been known to be chain smokers at a time, probably they left. With retirement and loneliness, such habits can return. Loneliness can also increase the risk of diseases and infection. It can also decrease the level of cognition. And in extreme cases, loneliness can lead to death. So that is why in recent times, we encourage retirees not to be idle. We encourage retirees to go into business, engage in something, not necessarily because you want to make money, but because you want to stay relevant. You want to be engaged in things that will make you to interface with people all the time. Now, I want us to look at some of the unrealistic expectations that we usually have in retirement. Believing that retirement savings will last forever. Some people don't believe they need to work. Some people believe their children are their retirement plan. My children are wealthy. I don't have to work. They will take care of me. I've just told you what doing nothing can actually do to you. When you don't have anything you are doing, you are just staying at home, you are alone. It can increase the level of isolation, and that can impact negatively on your mental health. And then we expect that when we invest, even though we have seen people with similar investment, sometimes expecting investment to consistently yield high returns without risk. Some of us, that's our belief. Even though you have seen people who have done similar investment have made money, that doesn't mean that such an investment does not have a high risk. Sometimes investment that have yielded money to other people may not yield anything to us. So we have to be very careful. Also assuming that retirement expenses will decline. That is also not true. Then unrealistic expectation in terms of socials, believing that family and friends will always be available for companionship. Expecting to maintain life cycle without effort, assuming retirement community or club will automatically provide social connection. We have to be intentional about making friends. If you are not friendly, you don't expect that people will gravitate towards you. So what we are saying here is that being socially connected with people is not automatic. You have to make effort. When it comes to physical health, these are some of the unrealistic expectations. Expecting retirement to bring improved health without lifestyle change. Then expecting no cognition decline or physical limitation. Assuming healthcare costs will decrease or be fully covered in retirement. We've been advised to do health insurance. In fact, our monies are being deducted from source for Ilera Eko. and even retirees are being encouraged to be part of it. But that in old age, that health insurance may not cover all the health costs that we are going to incur in old age. Sometimes we may have to do out of pocket. So it's very important that we realize that, and we always set aside money for that. Now let's go into retirement planning proper. Retirement planning means preparing today for your future life so that you continue to meet all your goals and dreams independently. It is also a process of settling financial goals and creating a strategy to achieve them before and during retirement. It's a comprehensive solution to mitigate retirement challenges. You will see that we've been talking about challenges that we are likely to face in retirement. So a comprehensive retirement plan will help you to mitigate retirement challenges. Now, these are the things we need to do. We need to look at what are those things that we need in retirement, financially, emotionally, and health-wise. What type of retirement home is our choice? Like I've always said, it doesn't make sense for somebody retiring to want to live in a duplex as a retirement home. Because with age, it may be difficult to be climbing stairs. And apart from that, most duplex we have like 5 rooms. And elderly people, those who are retired, in most cases, their children are living home. So it's going to probably remain the man and woman, the couple in the house. And with age, it becomes difficult on their own to manage a big house. So I am recommending 2-bedroom flat is enough for a couple. It's a good retirement home, a 2-bedroom bungalow. That's my own personal recommendation. What kind of car do I want to use in retirement? What kind of car do you want to drive? A car that is fuel efficient, that is easy to maintain. I've seen somebody who said the tire of his Jeep costs about 350,000. That was many years back, not even now. I'm sure that tire will be close to 500K now or even more. Why do I want to use a car like that? So these are some of the things we need to think about when retiring. What kind of food do I want to be eating? It's very important that we eat fresh food. As elderly people, we can think of managing our own gardens so that we can always eat fresh food. Then we also need to think about who are those that will be depending on us when we retire and the amount we are going to be spending on them. And then we need to think of our health. What kind of health condition do you have now? Some of us, while in service, some of us already have high BP. So we know that we need to take care of that. We need to set money aside to take care of our health situation in retirement. I should have taken this slide first. We need to think of what kind of retirement are we thinking about? Is it the end of work life for us? Or just end of work life in the public service and the beginning of productivity outside the public service, just a new chapter of life. We need to think about that. What exactly do we want to do after retirement? Some people just want to be traveling all over the world, golfing and cruising boats. Some would just like to be watching a movie and all of that. Some will be interested in doing religious activities, community service is okay, as long as we are not idle. And some will want to go into business. It is important for us to know that we need to think of how much we need to spend daily, monthly, yearly in retirement. And then we need to determine what will the source of our income be. And then if you are going to go into business, that business may not start yielding money immediately. You need to ask yourself, how much will it cost me to start that business, and how long can I sustain that business for without profit? So while you are doing your business and expecting it to make money in future because it may not start making profit immediately, how long can you sustain yourself? You have to think of the money you will be spending on yourself before going into that business. Some people go into business, they just put the whole of their money there and they cannot take care of themselves. That is not right in retirement. We have to think through, ensure that we have what we are going to spend on daily basis, monthly, somewhere, and then we can run that business with other monies. Then we need to create a retirement budget. We need to carefully look at our retirement goals and then estimate the financial implication, that is the expenditure and income, which must also reflect inflation. Now, there are some tricks we can learn to enhance our financial status while we are in active service. And that can actually help us to plan for our retirement. And then there's also some tricks we can also learn that can enhance our chances of higher pension in retirement. What do I mean? There is the voluntary window in our RSA, voluntary savings window. So you can save more in your RSA. And then you can access 25% of your RSA for equity contribution towards mortgage if you still have 3 years in service. So for those of us who have been thinking, how can I get a house? How can I build a house for myself? If you have more than 3 years in service, you can actually access 25% of your RSA for equity contribution towards your mortgage. You can also change your PFA. If you know that your PFA is not making enough money for you, you can change your PFA. But before you do that, you must ensure that you update your biodata and biometrics. You recapture under the enhanced contributors registration system. Although we all need to do that, but before you can change to another RSA, that has to be done. This will also include providing your NIN to your PFA. Now, you can determine where your money is invested. There are different funds under the RSA, Fund 1, Fund 2, 3, and 4. There is something that is, your investments are in two categories. There is the fixed income instrument and there is the variable income instrument. In some funds, the fixed income instrument is higher and the variable income instrument is lower. The fixed income means that the investment provides regular and predetermined returns. And that is where when you are getting close to retirement, it is advisable to put your money in such funds that have higher fixed income, or if you are already a retiree. But for those who are still young in the service, they can invest. These are instruments that are capable of bringing in higher returns, but they are very volatile investments. You can lose money. So these are the features. There is Fund 1. Okay. Fund 1. This is an optional fund. Contributors must write formally to opt for Fund 1. Fund 2 is the default fund for contributors age 49 and below. And 3 is the default fund for contributors age 50 and above. And then Fund 4 is for retirees. Now let's look at the composition of those funds. Fund 1, 75 exposure to variable income instruments. That one is very volatile. Your PFA will not invest your RSA in Fund 1 if you don't request for it. This is advisable for those who are still young in the service. Fund 2 is 55%. In most cases, our RSA is invested in Fund 2. Most people, it is invested because it's safer. And then Fund 3, the maximum exposure is 20%. This is for those who are about to retire, those who are 49 and above. And then Fund 4 is for retirees. So we can make up our mind, approach our PFAs to request for where we want our RSA to be invested into, so that we can have a higher chance of profitability. Now, while in active service, there are some things we can do to ensure that we enhance our financial status. Number 1 is we should live within our means. Let's avoid borrowing. Live within your means, minimize your borrowing. And then you can increase and diversify your income stream. What do I mean? As public servants, you can go into farming. We are allowed to go into farming. You can invest in mutual funds, or you can get a financial advisor that will manage your financial portfolio for you. But most importantly, you must be an aggressive saver. It's very important. Like I said, you can get a financial advisor to develop an investment strategy for you that works. Now let's learn some tricks on how to optimize our chances of higher income. Now, every expenditure we go into are either assets or liability. And being able to differentiate between the two is very important. Now, I want to ask us a question, and I want us to reply in the chat box. If you have a land, is it an asset? If you have a car, is it an asset? I want you to reply. I want responses on the chat box. Let me see your responses on the chat box. If you have a land, what is it? Is it an asset? Or is it a liability? I'm waiting for your responses, please.
Okay, the chat box is on now. So, sorry, I logged the chat box before.
Okay. I'm seeing your responses. Land is an asset. What about your car? Somebody said land is a liability. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Let me now put it this way. Can somebody explain why your land can be a liability? Can somebody explain why your land can be a liability? Okay, somebody said land is an asset, while car is a liability. I can prove it otherwise. At times, your land can be a liability, while your car can be an asset to you. Okay, I can see town planner Senyon Samuel Ashegiri. Sorry for the pronunciation of your name. You said land is an asset, while car is a liability. Can you expatiate further? I don't mind if you can unmute this person. I want that person to expatiate further for us. Why do you say that? Mr. Anasa, please, can you unmute that person? Okay, somebody.
Uma.
Okay.
Who do you want me to unmute, ma?
I think so. Ashegiri or something like that. That's the person's name.
Okay, Ashegiri.
You are very correct. But can that person address us? Hello?
I didn't get that, Ashegiri. Is the person raised the hand?
No, I'm the one that is just calling the person. Okay. Let me just explain what I mean. I just wanted somebody to speak. Yeah, somebody said land can be a liability as determined if you don't have money to build. Okay. But this is what it is. You know, I have said our expenditure falls into two categories. And if you want to enhance your chances of higher income, you must always focus on buying an asset. I'll give you an example. Do you know if you have a land somewhere and probably in a location where so many people are living, you don't have money to build yet, and they keep calling you that, I've experienced it before, that, oh, Mr. So-so and so, come and cut your bush because we see snakes coming out of your bush and we think that bush is endangering us. Your neighbor is now calling you to come out. If you are spending your money cutting grass all the time and you are not making anything from that land becomes a liability to you. So for those of us who have land, I will advise us, you can lease it out. Somebody can use it for something, either to farm or to do anything, as long as you are not spending money on it, but you are receiving something from it. So those of us who have land somewhere and we are not doing anything on that land, it's not bringing any money for us, but rather we are spending money, always going there every year. You are cutting grass, you are doing one thing or the other, you are rooting maybe trees and all of that. It is taking money from you. But do you know if you have a car or a vehicle, let me put it that way. I used to have somebody. At that time, I was living at Faraway Ogijo. That person works at Victoria Island. Distance from Victoria Island and Ogijo. This person drives every day to Victoria Island. If you calculate the cost of maintaining that vehicle and for fueling, definitely you will say, oh, this vehicle is a liability. And it was actually a liability to that person at that time. But I don't know how he got an idea. He sold that car, bought a bus, and was taking passengers to Victoria Island. From that, he will get money to fuel his vehicle, money to maintain that vehicle, and then he will have extra money to bring to his family to do one thing or the other. His salary was just sitting in the bank. Now, will you say that vehicle, that bus, the car was a liability, but the bus was not a liability? So it is not all the time that your vehicle will be a liability to you. What I'm saying is that anytime you are buying anything, you need to think through, is it going to be a liability to me? Or how can I buy an asset as against buying a liability? This person I'm talking about now sold his liability and bought an asset. Sold the car, bought a bus, which became an asset to him. So that is how to look at your, when you are buying anything, that's the way to look at it. An asset is an item that has economic value. It can store wealth, generate additional income, or reduce expenses. For this person, he was able to reduce his expenses and he was able to generate additional income. People who buy gold, they are buying assets because the value of that gold will always increase. And that is why you see some women, they are so confident. They buy gold, they know how to store their gold. And when it is time for them to spend huge money, maybe like sending their children abroad, they bring out all their gold, sell, and they are able to do so much. So a liability is debt or an obligation that you need to fulfill in future. In short, asset puts money into your pocket while liability takes money from your pocket. In order to optimize your income, your expenditure should be more on assets and less on liability. That gives you opportunity to plan for the future, makes you to live a comfortable life. If you're always living from hand to mouth, it will be very difficult for you to plan for your retirement. I've spoken about this, diversify your income. I've spoken about this. Be an aggressive saver. You can join a cooperative society, save, and save. I've spoken about this too. Mutual fund. I've spoken about this too. I've spoken about the voluntary window as well. Now, let's talk about how you can mitigate emotional and mental health challenges in retirement. So in retirement, healthy living is important to live a fruitful life. Therefore, let's pay attention to our diet. Do regular checks. Take your drugs. Engage in physical exercise and plan for rising health care costs. The government has supported us in public service now such that we do bi-monthly webinars, and one of them is on health. Although the program is meant for retirees, but serving officers are also invited. Please join, learn about how you can manage your health and live well. You know, planning your retirement starts from now. Then ensure you have adequate insurance coverage. Make sure you have a good one. A good health insurance. Choose a health package that will take care of you in retirement. Although I have said it will not cover all the costs, but at least you will not do much of out of pocket if you choose a good one. Then you have to prioritize your physical and mental health. It is very important. Stay away from people who are toxic. If there's someone, when you stay around that person, they are always gossiping, always letting you know that you are not good enough, stay away from such people. It impacts negatively on your mental health. For your emotions to plan to be involved in social activities and keep on improving your social interaction is important. Put a lot of effort into it. Join clubs, especially old student association. You know, when you are among your schoolmates, that is when you discover that no matter how old you are, you can still behave as if you are a child. And that is good for you. It's good for your emotions. Then volunteer in your mosque, in your churches, in your communities. Nurture relationships. Build your community network and stay engaged through volunteering and hobbies. Volunteering is always very good. Don't expect that, I mean, when you are doing anything for your community, you must earn money. No. Volunteering is very good. It will keep you engaged. It will keep you relevant, and that is good for your mental health. Then get an hobby. And one good thing Lagos State government has done for us is also to create recreation and wellness centers across the state where we can meet our colleagues, former colleagues, and interact socially. Let's be authentic. It's very important. Be real to yourself in retirement. Allow your true identity to shine through in retirement. Look inward. What are those things that you enjoy doing? Pay attention to those ideas that light you up. Explore them, and that will make you to live an ideal life after retirement. Then plan your estate. Your estate consists of all your assets and properties, everything you own, your money, your retirement account, bank account, debt and other assets. That's your estate. Your will is the document that outlines all the things that should happen to everything you have when you die. We all live long by God's grace. The estate planning is the process of outlining a plan for your estate for when you die. It's the master plan of for your family. It usually includes your will, your asset list, and the power of attorney. The person you are giving the power to administer your estate when you are no more. So writing your last will and testament is a crucial step to making sure that your wishes are upheld after your death. Estate planning makes it so you can relax knowing that one day your family will know exactly what you wanted and won't be stressed over the administration and bureaucratic process. You know, when a will is not in place, it becomes a big problem for your beneficiaries to assess what your estate. It's not easy to process a letter of administration. In fact, you know, I have seen beneficiaries of deceased public servants or deceased retirees trying to access their deceased family retirement benefits. Is a lot of problems. Sometimes they get fake death certificates, and it becomes a problem for them to access the death benefits of the deceased. But once you have an estate plan in place, or you have filled your death benefit nomination forms, it becomes so easy for the family to have access to your benefits. We don't pray for it, but it does happen to some people. So without a plan, you leave your asset and decision in the hand of the courts and the intestate laws of the state, which may exclude your loved ones from your estate. So having an estate plan is not just final. It's something that must be updated on a regular basis. You have a new house, you must update it. You just bought a new property, a new car, you must update it. You have more kids, you update. You marry, you update. You separate, you divorce, things like that. You keep updating. That is how to plan for your estate. Finally, let me call you to action. That's my conclusion. For those of us who have not started making plans for our retirement, I want to believe that you now know the areas to be looking at. So I want to say tonight, take the first step. Make informed decisions. Unlock your dreams. Take bold action and shape the future that you deserve. Retire with confidence. Retire with purpose. And let that journey begin from today. Thank you very much for listening. So I don't know if we still have time. I can entertain questions. Thank you very much for listening. So
Thank you
to
very much, Ma. Thank you very much, Ma. Let me see your emojis. We are like 800 here. I'm seeing only 5 emojis. Or you don't want to see Madam face, or you are not oh, wonderful. Awesome. 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 Yes, thank you very much, Ma, for that detailed, insightful, and impactful presentation, Ma. Distinguished colleagues, we have just benefited from deep practical knowledge on retirement planning, documentation, pension procedure, and financial readiness. This is the kind of information every civil servant needs before the exit stage, not when the process begins. At this point, we open the floor for questions and contributions. As you all know, if you have any question, please raise your hand or type in the chat box. Please keep your question brief and straight to the topic so we can accommodate as many people as possible.
I can
Once
see some
again,
people already signifying. Oladile
yes, sir.
Rashid.
Yes, ma'am.
There's one Oladile
So once
Rashid
again,
there.
yes, ma'am. So
And
on
there's,
behalf of
I
Public
think,
Service,
Bello Simiat Bolanle too.
all right, yes, you are fully prepared for us, ma'am. On behalf of Public Service Knowledge Hub and the Association of Senior Civil Servants, we sincerely appreciate our facilitator. So we now proceed to question and answer. Please, if you want to ask any question, your name, your ministry, then go straight to the point after appreciating our facilitator. Bello Simiatu, unmute yourself. Bello Simiatu. Bello Simiatu. Okay. I believe, okay, maybe it was mistake you raise your hand. So let me put your hand down. Modupe Saheed, unmute yourself.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, sir. Okay, good evening.
evening.
Thank you very much. Good evening, madam. Thank you very much for the insightful session. My name is Modupeola Saheed Adebambo. I'm a Deputy Director of Social Welfare, Ministry of Youth and Social Development. So you said when you were doing during your presentation that for senior officers, we need to give 6 months notice before retirement, whether it's voluntary or statutory. The question I have is about when one wants to give pay in lieu of notice, 3 months. You know, when you were talking about the 6 months, you said one must write the letter and it must get to the commission at least 3 months before the retirement date. Now, when it is 3 months in lieu of notice, how does that work? When should the letter get to the commission? You know, after having written to the MD. And secondly, you said the letter must get to the commission 3 months before. Now, once the letter has been submitted at the MD, it is no longer in the control of the officer as far as, we can tell. What happens if for some reason, the MDA does not push the letter to the commission at the stipulated time? What happens? How is the officer going to be penalized or anything like that? Thank you very much.
The officer will not be penalized. Definitely, with the dates on the letter that you wrote, it will show that you gave the required notice. So it is that office that will be sanctioned. It won't be the officer that will be sanctioned. Did you get that? You will be sanctioned. You will not be sanctioned. It will be the office that will be sanctioned, not the officer. Because once the initial letter that you wrote, that you submitted to your office, carries 6 months notice, you cannot be penalized. It is the officer, the scheduled officer, that will be penalized, not you. And then if you have to pay in lieu of notice, then the notice is not necessary. Sometimes exiting the service, you may need to exit. Maybe you don't have prior knowledge. Something just happened and you know that you just have to put in your papers. At that time, all you need to do is to pay for 3 months in lieu of notice. You pay back 3 months salary. Have I answered your question? I hope you are satisfied. Over to you, Mr. Amosoya.
Thank you very much, ma. All right, ma. As our rules and regulation, we don't pick any anonymous name. I'm seeing Zoom user. So I believe that Zoom user is not a civil servant. So I don't think I will call you, but let me see what happens. Okay, Zoom user, unmute yourself. Your name and your ministry. Zoom user, you see, you don't know that I'm calling you now. Okay. Mr. Oladele Rashid, unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the lecture, man. Really appreciate it, man.
You are not audible, sir. Close to your mic, please.
Can you hear me now, sir?
Can you close to your mic? Yes, audible now.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir. Thank you my name is Oladele Rashid Babatunde, from Minister of Environment and Water Resources, Lagos Sky.
Okay.
You talked on how to deal with our RSA and BFA, but I want you to please explain better. There's this 4 column you give that, that give us the age on where to, fit in some, how to work with our PFA. I want you to expatiate further on that, please.
I'm not hearing you well at all.
Okay, let me come again, man. Can you hear me now, man?
Okay, go on.
You talked about our RSA and PFA.
Yes,
our president state, and you give like 4 columns. Column 1, 2, 3, 4 that that outlined where and where we should fit in and how to use our money saved with the pension and stuff. Please, I want you to please expatiate better on that.
Okay, how you can relate with your PFA, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Go to their office. You are free to go to their office, make inquiries, and tell them what you want. For instance, all the processes in all PFAs may not be the same. But if for instance, if you are in Stanbic IBTC and you want to probably put put your money in another fund. You make a request, they will grant it. But if you want to change your PFA, you won't go directly to your current PFA. You go to where you want to go. They know what to do and ensure that they take your account from the other PFA. That's how to do it. And
Mr.
for your
Lalila,
voluntary savings,
okay. Go ahead,
that
ma'am.
one will be the request will be internally. It's STO that will do that one. Your request for voluntary saving will go to STO.
We write to the STO.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
I can see Ajibola. Okay, then Olu.
Okay. Rafiat Abijo Aregbe. Unmute yourself. You have the floor. Your name, your ministry.
Good evening. Thank you
Good
very
evening,
much,
ma'am.
for an impactful session. My name is Abijo Aregbe Rafiat from Local Government Service Commission.
Okay.
Ma, when you were putting us through the session on unrealistic expectation in retirement in terms of health, presently, I benefit from Ilera Eco Health Scheme.
Okay.
I'll be retiring next year, October, by God's grace, ma.
Okay.
I want to know if I'll still be able to access the health scheme after October next year, ma.
Definitely, you will be. In
Thank
fact,
you.
you
Thank
can
you, ma.
have up to 2 years for free before you continue
Okay.
paying again. Yes.
Okay, ma. Okay, ma. Thank you very much, ma.
You are most
God
welcome.
bless you. Yes.
Hello, ma. Are you still with us, ma?
I can see something here on the chat box. Somebody said, explain PFA. PFA is your pension fund administrator. And your RSA is your retirement savings account.
Savings account.
It's just like your bank and your account number. That's just the way it is. It's like your bank account and your account, personal account. Your bank and your account in the bank. The PFA is like your bank and your RSA is like your own personal account.
Emma. Hussein Olanigan. Unmute yourself, sir. Your name and your ministry.
Somebody said, how do we get the link to follow the webinar talk for retirees? Please ask your director here and HR. It's always on director and HR platform. The link is always there. So if you ask your director here and HR, you will get it.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening, sir. Somebody said,
My
what
name
is
is
STO, ma? State
Good
Treasury
evening,
Office.
sir.
Sorry. Go ahead.
My name is Olanigan Hussein Kehinde. I work with the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy Affairs and Rural Development. But my parent ministry is the Ministry of Agriculture.
Okay.
My question is on retirement process. We have been hearing lots of things from those who have retired.
Okay.
Is there anything government can do to make processing of retirement so easy? Because there are lots of issues having to do with go and bring this, go and bring that, go and bring this, go and bring that. Somebody who has joined service for over 30 years, government should supposed to have records or details of the outgoing staff. I don't see why somebody is retiring and will be asking him to go and bring, pay slip for last year, for this year, or for that year. They have the records. They should please make things easy for us. That's number one. Number two, I think government should come to our assistance. I won't lie to you, a lot of people, a lot of staff are going through serious things. Lots of us are borrowing money every month. Some people cannot even have 200,000 or 100,000 at the end of the month. Some cannot even have 80,000 naira, sorry. And when you retire, there is nothing for you. All these lectures you are giving us, fine, they are good things. But where are you going to get all the money from? We need money to do all these things. If you want to eat, you need money. If you want health in Nigeria, common malaria now, you spend nothing less than 30,000 naira. And when you retire, how much are you going to be giving every month? So we are in a serious mess. Let's face the facts. In London, when you retire, you have free transport anywhere you want to go. Once you are 60 and you retire, you don't pay anything again. We have a lot of burden on us when we retire. Some of us, when we retire, we have problem of paying school fees to our children. Some we have health issues. Some we have dependents. How are we going to solve all this from the money they are giving us? And I won't lie to you. When you are talking of corruption in Nigeria, this is what is happening. This is the reason for everything. The future is not secured financially for anyone. So I'm imploring, I don't know how we are going to do this, but I think government should come to our aid to at least reduce the burden on us when we retire. That is my question. Thank you, ma'am.
It's not a question, sir.
Whatever it is, that is what...
You have said so many things. But
whatever it is.
Let me start by saying that, you mentioned something. You said we borrow a lot. Do you know that some of the things we borrow money to do, they are frivolities? I'm sorry to say. Sometimes we just tell ourselves that those things are very important when they're actually not. And government has given us the opportunity to go into farming. I'm a farmer, as you are seeing me. I have a farm. I process garri, I do chicken, and I get money from it. So I want to advise us, even if it is, planting what we can eat, is very important. Let's do it. I want to believe that with the little we are earning, if we develop a strategy to manage ourselves, it won't be as bad as it is now. I can tell you, a lot of us mismanage the resources that we have. And that is why lectures like this are very important for us. There is little that the government can do for us. Health insurance is in place. I heard you saying that even if you are sick, you have malaria now, you can spend up to 30,000. Government does not want you to spend anything on malaria. But for some of us, we don't want to go and wait in one hospital. We just want to breeze into private hospital and come out. And then we end up spending 30K. Government has put in place Ilera Eko now. It is because we don't want to queue. That's why we are spending 30K. So it's about changing our lifestyle. It's about looking inwards. It's about looking at the things we can do better to ensure that we don't put ourselves under undue pressure. Some of us are always buying Aso Ebi. Some of us are always going to hang out somewhere with friends to drink beer and all of that. There are some costs we need to reduce. You know, in recent times when the price of fuel went up, vehicles on the road have reduced. No more serious hold up anymore. Families who before we bring out 3 or 4 vehicles, the father takes one, the wife takes another one, the children another one with a driver. People now understand that they need to use only 1 vehicle instead of 3. So some of the things that take money from our pockets, and that's what we have been discussing, is because we want to live large. It's the lifestyle we are living. Let us cut down on the lifestyle we are living so that things can be better for us. Trust me, I'm also a public servant. And I know how I've been managing myself. Believe me. The advice I will give you, sir, is you can do farming. You can cut down your expenses. You can always try and focus on buying assets as against buying liabilities. Thank you very much, sir. I hope I've given you insights on what you can do. Somebody said, is it basic salary the person will pay? I want to believe that is a 3-month salary in lieu of notice. It is the total package, not the basic, total, even before tax. Before tax and all the deductions, it is the total package you will pay back. Yes, leave of absence is still being granted. But if you ask for the right reasons.
Adebayo Adeyinka, unmute yourself. Your
Good
name,
evening,
your
ma.
ministry.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening,
I'm
sir.
Adebayo Adeyinka from Education District 6. Ma, I want to ask a question on the funds. You talk about
Okay,
Fund 1, Fund 3, Fund 4. Fund 4 is for retirement. What benefits is going to add to the value of retirement, those retirees? That's Fund 4. That's my first question. My second question is, as a teacher in public school that doesn't have time between 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock, after working, standing in the classroom, doing all sorts of other activity that is involved, marking those sorts of things, how can he be engaged in farming that will not benefit him during his retirement? Ma, what are the things that the government, well, my third question is, the government as it is now, what is the plan? You said we should go to farm, we should go to farm. What can those people that are retiring, can they venture into farm through the help of government? Is it possible? Those are my questions, ma. Thank you very much, ma.
Okay. Well, if you are advised to go into farming, it's not for you to go and be cutting grass You get people to do it on your behalf. I have a farm. I don't heap ridges. I don't cut grass. People do it for me. I pay. And yes, government, of course, is organizing different kind of training for retirees, and they are being empowered. At least this last week, we still trained some people on fish farming, and we gave them fish tanks, we gave them fingerlings, we gave them feeds. So at least government is doing a little to support retirees. It may not be much, but then something is being done. And the very, very vulnerable retirees too, we are putting their names on the single social register under the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget for coordinated efforts to support them.
Thank you very much, ma. Are you still with us, ma?
I'm here, please. I'm still here.
Okay, ma. Okay, ma.
My
Adedayo,
question is concerning the fund.
concerning
Concerning
what?
the fund. The fund, fund 4.
Fund
What
4.
benefits to, yes, what benefits to retirees?
Okay. Fund 4 is like they are investing in fixed
Deposit.
no fixed income instrument. That is, it could be money market, maybe mutual fund, that the interest rate is predetermined. That is where that fund is invested into. It is not invested in maybe shares where it is variable income instrument. The profit from that can be volatile. Fund 1 is mostly invested in variable income instrument. That's the category of investment. So the import of the Fund 4 is that when the investment is being made, the interest rate is predetermined. You know, when you do a fixed deposit in the bank, you already know that it's going to bring you 7%, 8%, 10%, or 12%. So that is why retirees fund is invested into that fund, such that the risk is very low, little or no risk at all. There will be little or no risk at all. That fund cannot be lost. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. You know what the pension fund administrator does is that they invest our RSA into different investment instruments. Like I said, some are fixed income instruments, some are variable income instruments. And what I mean by that is that fixed means they have an idea of the returns that will come, which is likely not to fail. Variable means that it is volatile, that investing in that fund, you can even lose money. So it's very possible if you are looking at your, if you are following your RSA, sometimes if you see that the money reduces, it is probably because your money was invested somewhere and the loss was made. So it happens. Have I answered your question? The advantage of it for retirees is that their income is stable. They are not likely to lose money with the kind of investment that their funds is being engaged in. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, ma. Ajibola Bello, ma. Your name, your ministry. Unmute yourself from your end.
Good evening.
You have the floor.
Good evening, ma'am.
Your network is
Thank
dragging
you,
there.
madam, for the insightful. Okay. Good evening, sir, and good evening, ma'am. My name is Bello Ajibola from Ministry of Local Government.
Okay.
Thank you very, very much, ma'am, for the impactful and the insightful session. God bless you. We really appreciate it, ma'am. My question is, one of the questions has been answered. That's about the paying 3 months in lieu. You have answered that. But the second one is that you talk about reducing our expenses, that there are some things that we are not supposed to be doing that we are doing. Like I want to give an instance, like now, I am a widow, and where I'm living, my landlord gave me a quick notice that I should go. I should leave the place. And I now start looking for accommodation. In the environment where I'm staying and where I'm working, you cannot get a 2-bed of less than 1 million there. What can I do?
Sister Ajibola, we can't hear you again.
Are you there? I think she said what can she do?
Agriculture, the farming stuff that you are talking, yes, on that one, to reduce based on what you have said, ma'am. Then another one is that, can the PFA give me part of the sum so that I'll go into the farming process? Thank you, ma'am.
You can only access your retirement savings account as equity contribution for mortgage, not for anything else. You want to buy a house and you are going through a mortgage and you are expected to make a down payment. That is the equity contribution. That is what you can use that 25% of your RSA to do, nothing more than that. That is what the law made provision for, not for farming. You can't use that money for farming. It's not possible. Talking about quit notice, I will advise that you apply for staff quarters. Although it is not automatic, but I know that with time you will get one. Have I answered your question, ma?
It's not what one can get just like that.
Are you okay with that question? The response?
I said to an extent, that's what I'm saying. I'm still talking about.
You cannot access that money for farming. You can only access it for
that one is okay. That's
contribution,
okay.
yes.
That is okay, ma'am. I'm talking about the reduction of the expenses, way of life, and all others.
Well, you have to assess yourself. You know, I want to believe that this lecture will be on YouTube. You can still go back there, watch all over again, pay attention, get the slide, read through, and then assess your situation. I'm sure you will see areas where you will need to cut down.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Like she said, I will post the link, YouTube channel link now for you to join. All our sessions are on our YouTube channel for you to access any of your past, your missed session. Olubukola Akindele, your name and ministry, then quick one. Go straight to your question.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, sir, Mas.
Good one.
Ma, you talked about death benefit nomination form during your presentation. I can remember we filled this form sometime ago. Is there a way to access it in case we want to make amendments or to change some things on it in terms of the beneficiaries, ma?
Or maybe you can get in touch with the Ministry of Finance. I know that there was a time it was circulated and we filled it and returned. I want to believe the record is in Ministry of Finance. So if you get in touch with them, you probably may be able to update it.
Okay, ma. Thank you, ma.
Insurance department precisely.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Mrs. Olubukola, thank you. Bisiri Kabiru, you have the floor. Your name, your ministry.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good
My
evening,
name
sir.
My name is Bisiriyu Kabiru, a scientific officer from Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources. My question is for exam purposes, and where is this memo now? The apex of statutory retirement, or the crown of it, is the issuance of a certificate of service. When you look at the PSR chapter 2, section 8, number 4, the issuance is divided into two: GL7 and above to be countersigned by the PAMSEC of the officers MDA and PSO. Then 6 and below by officers, the PS officers MDA and the PS staff. But in a recent memo, just this October, by the head of service, PSO is not mentioned in the circular. So my question for exam purpose is, who issues, because we have been told that external circulars can rewrite our regulations, and this is a current one issued on the 27th October. This is circular. Who issues certificates of service to these two categories of group? Is this still according to this this quoted section of the PSR, or it has been nullified by the recently issued circular? Thank you.
It is the Ministry of Establishment and Training that issues certificate of service. The one we usually issue in PSO is a ceremonial certificate of service. It's a ceremonial one. All we just put there is this certificate of service is issued to so person for dedication and exemplary conduct in the service of Lagos State government. That's what we put there. So that is just for it's just ceremonial. So the MDA that issues certificate of service, which I think it will entail the officer's trajectory in the service, is the Ministry of establishment. And it's still the same thing that is in the circular that is also written in the PSR. So I think it's the MDA that you want to be sure of, right? It is Ministry of Establishment and Training. The other one from Post Service Department is a ceremonial one. Have I answered your question? Are you still there, Mr. Bisiri?
Mr. Bisiri, are you still there? Are you okay?
I don't think he's not there anymore.
Okay.
Yes. Well answered. Well answered.
All right. Thank you. Akerele Kehinde, unmute yourself. Your name, your ministry.
Good evening.
Good evening,
My
sir.
name is Kehinde Akerele, Deputy Director of Public Affairs, Debt Management Office. Thank you, the facilitator, for the brilliant presentation. Thank you, President of the Senior Staff and the anchor of this program, Mr. Jamiu. You did appreciate your efforts. My more is more of a comment than a question. In the course of the presentation, you did mention that the payment of leave of notice is 100% salary, including deduction and what have we. When the lady from the pension office made a presentation on this platform about 5 days ago, she said net. So I think this area need to be harmonized so that people are not get confused in this. She mentioned on this platform that it is the net that we pay, not the whole salary. So that's number one. Number two, right? In the course of presentation, you did mention that the support for the family of the officer that died during the course of service is 25,000 naira. You mentioned that it will be reviewed. This shows that there are so many that need to be reviewed in line with the reality of this modern society. So that we really want to help the retiree, right? We need to align things because when rules are not changed, but things are going on the way it is, right? Yeah, I think there's confusion there. So I think whatever can be done by government, right, need to address that area. That's number two. Number three, right, about the retirement, in line with Mr. Hussaini comments, right? Most of us on this level, deputy director, because we have most of us have less than 5 years, 3 to 5 years max, by my own calculation. Right, may not benefit, but in line with Lagos State Smart City project, I think it's high time they improve on this. That officer doesn't need to be carrying people along. During the time of Governor Fashola, he has started the idea of reducing papers, right? With the Oracle that was introduced by the current president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, right? I mean, you have to upgrade our system that people citizen doesn't need to, with a click of, we have a unique number. Every Oracle number is unique to any of his officers. So with spread of the button on the Oracle, right? Data and officer should be dropped down. So when we bring this document, because that's why some people do have problem. Some may fall toward the end of their service career, right? So if they start running around this and that, submit document that is not being properly followed, I think what government can be done, what the advice can people in the authority can advise people that are concerned that we need to upgrade our game. Thank you. That's my submission.
Thank you very much. I think some of those who are on that schedule are also listening to us. I think what the issue is that the database in different agencies are not unified. If there is a single database where they all maybe draw their information from, it will be much easier. I think we are getting there. But most importantly, those who are on that schedule, I want to believe we are also on this platform. Let's try and do something about it by writing, requesting, suggesting innovative ways of doing some of these things. I believe we will get there. As for whether it is net or the total emolument that will be paid back, I have a personal experience. My daughter just withdrew her service from the Lagos State Public Service, and I was the one who paid 1 month's salary back in lieu of notice. We paid the full package. We were asked to go to STO. We didn't just pay. We were asked to go to STO. And STO actually gave us the bill of what to pay back, which was the total emolument. In fact, I was complaining that why should she pay in full? Because apart from the fact that she paid 1 month notice when she was going, the auditor did not ensure that her name was removed from the payroll. So after she left, she was paid. And what we had to pay back is more than what she received, because all the deductions were made, and yet we were asked to pay back full amount. So it's not the net, it's the full emolument that will be paid back for payment in lieu of notice. Full emolument. I have that experience. Of course, you won't just pay back any amount you like, just like I said. The STO will have to give you the bill of what to pay back. So get to STO, you will be advised on what to pay back.
Thank you, ma'am. In line with your submission on this now, right, with your experience, isn't there's still confusion here and there on it? Because the rule was specific. If the rule was specific on what to pay, if there's this ambiguity, I think the ambiguity need to be lifted. So if the rules, because service is based on rules, documents, the service should not be should not be silent on it. It should be specific that AY said we pay. So no argument. There's some time that officers use their own intuition that maybe they're supposed to, like the person who lady presented that is a net on this platform. Mr. Jamiu can confirm it, and other that attended that meeting, right? So, and you are saying now, I'm not contesting you, I'm going by your experience. That you even said you question them, are you supposed to pay all this? You even question, that means there's something that is missing somewhere. So I think you need to help the system, whoever is concerned, whoever is in charge, this thing needs to be specific. You need to be more specific so that the ambiguity can be removed. My opinion. Thank you. God bless you, man.
Thank you very much.
Very much, sir, Mr. Kelly. Mr. Awe Jamiu.
Thank you. Good evening, ma'am. My fellow director, thank you for. Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for your time. At this late time, we are expecting an elderly state woman to be at rest around this time, but because of the leadership, you still have to do this for us. I want to say thank you for that. My question, before I answer before I ask my question, ma, let me just make a follow-up on what Mr. Kehinde had just spoken to now. I'm sure I was the one that asked that question from the lady that came from, one of our directors that came from LASPEC. Yes, LASPEC. I was on that call, and I was actually the person that asked that question. And I'm sure before somebody had been on this platform before that I asked that question, and they were saying that since it has to do with pension, we should leave it for the pension person when that person comes. So I delayed that question until when she actually came. And what I asked was, when somebody is retiring, resigning, or withdrawing, whichever way, and he has to pay either a month in lieu of notice or 3, that is that person going to pay a gross payment of this emolument, or is going to pay the net?
and she actually spoke to issue of basic salary, which ordinarily, by the experience you had, I had the same. I know one of the officers with me in the public procurement agency at a particular year was resigning, and he was leaving the service, and the issue of what he needs to pay comes on, and the same route we went through was what we went through, and I know it was not like that. But what I want to speak to Mr. Krele on is this: every person can come on the platform to speak, but sometimes we might be very, very individualistic in our reply instead of following the rule. It might be out of error. It might be just that person want to speak. And I know that one of those things that our leader that's on this call, Mrs. Duro Dola, what we've learned from her as our mentor is what you are really not too sure of. It is better for you to delay it and ask that we should ask questions from some people, or delay it for us to be very sure instead of just answering that question. I actually did not want to push it further beyond that, but I know it's something we still get at. So, and that is what is coming on now. So I want to say that it's an error, and I want to believe it's a personal error from her. And we also have the right as a public servant and leaders to go after issues like this and get the right thing and push it back to the fore. So, and want to stand with what Mrs. Duro Dola said, and I want to make it a challenge to you, Mr. Krele, myself and Jami and every other person, to actually get what we know it is right and bring it back for people to understand where they should stand. So that's things like that. So on my question, ma, I am aware with all of those teachings we have from you from post-service that before people retire, 2 years, a year, two, I don't know. I don't want to be specific. I know there is a pre-retirement training that you put them through on what they can do, what they need to do after retirement, how to take care of their health, business they can run, all of those things. I know there's something like that. But what I want to ask is there any program that is in focus, maybe that I don't know, or we don't know, or that's a silent one? And if not, how can we do it that public servants, maybe when it's like 10 years before retirement, or even beyond 10 years, people can learn what they need to do before it is just 1 year to 8 or too late for them to do? Because from the import of the question that I asked tonight, you spoke to issue of being a farmer, and you said you are a farmer, and I know you to be a farmer, and a successful one for that matter. But then it is not everybody that can be a farmer. It depends on your own attitude. It depends on your own focus. It depends on your own optimism to what you want to do in the future. Some people are not farmers, they are designers, they are tailors, they do many things even while they are doing their service, and it doesn't disturb their work, and they know how to manage themselves. Now, is there any program, man? That's the question. Is there any program that can be run, if it is not running now, that public servants that has 10 years to move to retire can get an inkling of what they need to do? Some people need to be pushed to do some things. It might not come directly from them. Maybe we should look at that end, and we can say that, okay, being a farmer does not mean you have a 10 million naira to start a farm. If you can get like 10, 20 cockerel, poultry beds in your house and start feeding them with just ordinary, some of them get training costs from your office. One bag can do that between September and December, 3 months. And by the time you sell the 20 in December, I tell you, you can make 100,000 out of what you have done. Can you run this, and this small business like that? They can run. We are seeing staff who comes into Alausa even around December, and they bring birds, they bring egg. Some of them come and sell egg, poultry eggs. Some of them bring vegetables that they planted in their house. That's so much they cannot eat all alone, and they bring. This is a wedu, this is a fall, like this is a oloja oko, like it is. And they come, they sell many other things. There are many people that run some other business that they can move, but if they don't have that sense of the business, they might not be able to do it. So I want to ask, ma, is there any program, or would there be any program to suggest to public servants when they are like a decade before they leave, not like when it takes 6 months or 1 year or even 3 months and we're putting them through post-retirement classes. Thank you, ma. We appreciate you for what you are doing, ma.
Thank you very much, Mr. Agui. Well, unfortunately, currently, there's nothing like that. There's nothing currently, but of course, I know that it's something that is very, very necessary. If currently we are redefining what retirement should be, I think that we should start thinking along that line. And trust me, I believe so much in what you have just said, and we are making efforts, you know, to ensure that something along that line can happen in the nearest future. Recently, you know, we did a training in collaboration with Wealth Creation, and we did not only take retirees alone, we also took retiring officers. So if we've been able to convince the government to do such a training, I want to believe that in the nearest future, we can do much more. Maybe thinking of few years before retirement, taking people through training few years, not months now, before retirement, so that people can start, you know, practicing what they intend to do after retirement before the actual retirement date. And then I want to believe that, you know, the public service rules that is being reviewed, I want to believe that when it comes out, although I don't know the content, I know it has been reviewed, but it has not been released. I want to believe that it is going to be more practical, you know, and I want to believe it will address this area we are talking about. It may not be exactly what we want now, but it can only get better. I believe it will get better. So thank you very much, Mr. Agui, for that contribution.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you very much, Mr. Agui. Because of the time, because we are running late, this is after 9. So we will only entertain 1 or 2 questions more so that Madam can go and rest and prepare for church tomorrow morning. Jamiu Olowoshile, unmute yourself, your name, your ministry. Quick one.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
I want to sincerely appreciate the effort of our facilitator and you, sir, for what you are doing for us. It is only God that can reward you abundantly. One of my questions have been spoken to. That's the issue of this total payment of emolument as opposed to net payment. And I see that there's no reason for me to belabor it. But what I want to say now has to do with this scenario. Somebody is retiring in November and is due for this promotion. This promotion is, if the person is successful, the national date is, let's assume that the national date is July. If he's successful, then this person needs to give 6 months notice before retirement. The national day for this wouldn't have been out before that notice is to be given. So on what level is the person now going to say is on? Is it the present level or the expected grade level? That is one. The second one has to do with this issue of program withdrawal and annuity. It's not that I don't understand it, but I'm just confused as to which one should one really take, which is better of the two. That's my question, sir. Ama.
Annuity and program withdrawal. Well, you know, it's important for you to look at your own situation and then judge for yourself which one you are going to take. But for me personally, I already have a bias. And what is that bias? When you look at programmed withdrawal, the name already says what it is. That means the amount you have in your RSA is programmed over a period of time for withdrawal. I think for the female, the life expectancy after retirement is 15, and for the male, it is 10. And I think I've seen a few schedule from the PFAs where they will specify that the amount in the person in question's RSA will be spread for 10 years, 5 months. I've seen it. Do you understand? There is a schedule they get from their PFA after retirement, and it will specify how long that amount will last. But the recent regulation says that there is a guaranteed amount that every RSA holder should be paid throughout their lifetime by the PFAs. So what I tell myself is this: assuming my money has been spread for 10 years, 8 months, let me put it that way, for instance, that means if I no longer have any money in my RSA, a guaranteed amount can be any amount. If they give you 10,000, it's a guaranteed amount. If they give you 15,000, it's a guaranteed amount. But if you do annuity, annuity is for life. You are purchasing a product which will give you a fixed monthly remuneration. If at the commencement of that policy, you are earning 60K, you are going to earn 60K throughout your lifetime. And if the government is saying, oh, they want to pay certain amount to retirees, maybe pension enhancement, like the federal government is doing now. Although I'm not still sure of the modalities they are going to use to distribute this money, but I want to believe that anybody that has withdrawn from the PFAs to go and buy annuity may not benefit, because they have actually withdrawn and they have gone to buy a product which will give them fixed income throughout their lifetime. Meanwhile, program withdrawal, your money is spread for a period of time, and thereafter, you can get a guaranteed amount, which could be any amount. So it is now your choice. Which one will you go for? They both have advantages and disadvantages. If you ask me, I will opt for annuity. I love certainty. I love to be able to plan, to know that, okay, this is what I'm getting, and I plan for it. I think with program withdrawal, as far as I'm concerned, at the end of the day, you may not know what will happen. by the time the money in your RSA has been exhausted. Although they will tell you, PFAs will tell you that money cannot be exhausted. But I think I've had 1 or 2 cases where people say their money has been exhausted. So for me, I'll go for annuity. I'll go for annuity. Sincerely, I hope somebody in maybe commission or so is on this platform who can answer the first question that you asked, which is on the implementation of promotion. You know that in the past, I mean, the preparation for 2026 promotion is already on now. And in fact, the exercise has commenced. Unlike before, it will take the middle of 2026 for it to start. So, I know that for people who maybe I've had cases of people who retired as a director, they put in their notice as a director, but within the 6 months, they became permanent secretary. Of course, they are going to put in a request that will show that they are exiting the service as a permanent secretary. But for this promotion exercise, I'm not sure of the process, and I'm not going to, I don't want to answer that question and give you a wrong response. I believe somebody from the commission, Civil Service Commission, if you are on this platform and you are able to answer that question, you can please help us or type in the chat box. So, Mr. Jamiu, that's my response. I hope I've answered your question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, ma. This is 9:38. I will only entertain one more question. Please, I will just pick out of the 2. We won't be able to answer this question. You'll entertain any question more than this one. Enyulabi, your name, your ministry, and go straight to the point.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Thank you very much, ma, for the lecture so far. My question is that when somebody is leaving a service, particularly for people that have spent more than 10 years, and the government says it has to be 6-month notice or 3 months in lieu of notice. My question is, why does the person have to pay when the person's money is already with the government? The reason why I'm asking this question is because, sorry, ma'am, my name is Akinlabi Tolulope Oluwayemisi, so sorry, from Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources, Office of Drainage Services and Water Resources.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. GL 15. So if the person already has money with government, and for us, from my experience, we have contractors, and when they are supposed to pay certain amount of money, they will write that that amount should be deducted from source. Why can't civil servants do the same? Instead of paying, why can't civil servants write that the money should be deducted from source? That's my question. Then somebody was talking about the health insurance the other time. I have a personal experience. When I was admitted at LASUT, it was at the point of mentioning that I have I don't know what we call it again, insurance, that they now ask for my policy number. It was then they now brought down the money that I was supposed to pay. I would have paid 400 plus, but eventually I think I paid 110 or something like that. So when it's good for public servants to patronize all these general hospitals, because you will be able to pay less. And then somebody was talking about the malaria. I was in the staff clinic and they told me that they don't have material for malaria tests. So they can't give me malaria drugs. But, you know, I have to go outside and do that by myself. So somehow we still have to do a little bit of, you know, going to the private hospital when the resources are not available in government hospital. And another thing I want us to know, I'm not trying to be biased, neither am I, you know, I'm not for any particular tribe per se, but I want to encourage a lot of us that are on this end of Nigeria. Quite a number of times when I go to general hospital, because that is where I register, I will hear, Okechukwu, Chukwudimma. Most Yorubas prefer to go to a private hospital, and then we now begin to complain. Why are we complaining? My second question, ma, that was just an advice. Then my second question, ma, is that as people in government service, you said that we can do farming. It's not everybody that likes farming, even though that is what the government, you know, wants us to do. But at the same time, when somebody is exiting from the service, I don't think 3 months is sufficient for somebody to learn and be a master in whatever the person wants to do after service. Otherwise, I'm sorry to say that, ma. Thank you very much, ma.
Well, thank you very much. When you said staff already has money with government, I'm not sure what you mean. Do you mean RSA? Which money do we have with government? I want to understand. I don't think we have any money with government. If you are talking about the RSA, your retirement savings account, your retirement savings account is with your public fund administrator, PFA. So, and it has not got nothing to do with government. That money is not in government coffers, and government cannot touch it. So the question of with taking the money from source does not even arise. That is that. And then thank you for your advice, you know, concerning the health insurance that you mentioned. I think we need to make use of our Ilera Eco. There's need for us to always make use of Ilera Eco. If you go to health center, it is not available. Go to your HMO. Go to your HMO. I want to believe, and if you are not satisfied, report to Health Management Authority, LASHMA, report to them. They are open to receive complaints. Please, if we go to our HMOs and they don't do what we want, let us report them. When we report them, they will be sanctioned. They will be sanctioned. So it is because we are keeping quiet, that is why we are not getting results. And we are fond of doing that in Nigeria. We keep quiet and then we complain. What was your last question? Please, can you please refresh my memory? Hello?
I think our last question is just like input to me. It's not a question per se.
Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, every one of us, for this call, for your input, for your question and the clarification and advice. Ms. Adelaja Adebambo, I won't be able to pick you, or if I pick you, maybe you do dual things for us. Our norms here, we call one of the participants to appreciate our facilitator on behalf of all. So in that case, Adelaja will unmute you, ask question at the same time, appreciate our facilitator on behalf of participants. Adelaja, you have the floor. Mute yourself.
Okay. Thank you, our host, Mr. Moderator. And a quick one. I just want to speak to this aspect that people raised. Madam raised it herself concerning farming. I'm with the Ministry of Agriculture. I'm a deputy director. I'm with the agency called Lagos State Agri-Development Authority at Okoba. Now, quickly, all agencies can interface with the Ministry of Agriculture, and then appropriately such trainings can be taken, as interagency approach, and I think that can be resolved. They can pull officers who are about to retire together for all this in-house seminar. Our officers are competent all around, from those in charge of extension at LSADA to the Farm Service Center and the department at Alausa. They can get involved. I recall a time when we had to go and cascade information about agriculture in all the local government and LCDA recently, and then we did that very well. So, but that's just to add to the question that was raised about, getting knowledge about agriculture, and then, in handling, in post-harvest, in processing, and all the areas that can benefit retiring officers and retirees as well. On a final note, I want to thank Madam who came on board, and she has been so gracious with her depth of knowledge. She's been able to cough out, and I think all of us, we must have caught a lot of cold from our sneezing tonight. We want to thank you. God will continue to replenish you, and the knowledge that you are having will continue to widen, to not diminish. I thank you once again on behalf of everybody. Good night, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adebambo. Before we end the call, you mean we can come to your office for learning the agriculture? Is that what you mean, sir? So that we can march towards your office on Monday.
Yes, you can interface with our ministry concerning when people are in service and they want to retire, and then they want to learn one trade or the other in the aspect of agriculture. Through the commissioner and the permanent secretary, they will cascade it down. Our own agency, Lagos State Agri-Development Authority, we're actually interfacing with farmers outside, extending knowledge and innovation to them. And I think if it is done appropriately, those who are about to retire from government, who are our home people, if we are given instruction, we have enough knowledge, practical experience in all fields that will help everybody who is interested in agriculture and food systems. It entails a lot of things: fisheries, livestock, processing, women in agriculture, and all the rest. So we'll be able to act appropriately once we are given the go-ahead to do so.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for this information. I will come and see you after the promotion exercise. So that let me see if I can start something somewhere.
No problem, sir.
Yeah.
I think you can invite him also.
Are we? It's like I don't know where I'm going.
Yes.
You know where I'm going.
At least
Are we?
Information is power.
Yes.
And that is why I really enjoy what you are doing so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Thank you so much, ma. I will definitely invite him after the promotion exercise. I think Mr. Adelaja said he's eligible for this year promotion, right? Next year promotion. Mr. Adelaja, are you due? Okay, no problem. I will make sure I see you because my program is every Sunday. We did this program every Sunday. But due to the promotion exercise, we switch that we need to cover up for the area of concentration for the eligible officer. So that is why we are having this back to back for 8 days. So after that, we switch back to our Sunday tonic. Thank you very much, every one of us. Thank you very much, Ma, for your time. You did well. You did justice to the retirement plan. And indeed, you are a wonderful boss, ma. Thank you very much, ma. Thank you very much. And I believe
You are most
all of
welcome.
us on this call gain one or two things from her. And I don't want you to see it on the retirement pattern alone. Question can come out anywhere because people are watching this program. They are watching us and they are, picking some question here and there, and I believe they can set question across that. So don't say you are not informed. Like I said, and like I always said, please go to our YouTube channel, access to our library. You have what it takes to guide you. Don't just go outside there and be buying. Someone coming that you see one book to buy. Don't just buy any book. Don't give yourself pressure. Like I said early this morning, that the examiner didn't give room for any leave. There's nothing like promotion leave. No. Assuming there's a promotion leave now, I can say, okay, go out, go in your house and read. But now you will still be doing something in your office. It means you are multitasking and at the same time you are still trying to get over the promotion exercise. That is why we come up with all this, that at your comfort zone, access the channel, and please join our channel, Telegram channel. As from Monday now, we will start sending audio. The video, you can access the video on our YouTube channel, but audio will be sent to you because of the promotion exercise, so that you can access to it. We discovered that what you listen to every day stick to you, to your brain, than what you read. My own research, or anyway. So if you start listening to this audio, by the time you get to the whatever panel, it will come out when they ask that question. Something with the music we play, your brain will play the music. You just reflect. So stick to our channel, as well as our Telegram channel. Tonight audio will be sent on Monday, and other audio will start sending to our channel, and other necessary material. But if you are not on our channel, just access our YouTube channel. We have it. We have like 36 sessions. Today's will now be 37. So access there, public service through any cadre you are, you find your own part. So once again, thank you very much, ma. Thank you very much, every one of us.
Welcome.
Yeah. Have a good night. Have a lovely night's rest. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow by 7 o'clock, we are having speech writing and communication by Permanent Secretary, Chief of Staff by 7 o'clock. Please stay tuned, glue with us, and get the best. Thank you. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, ma. Thank you, ma.